You know, I think I'm one of the very few people that read the whole 500-page Obamacare document when it first came out. You know, when it was first proposed by Obama to the Congress, it was 500 pages. I doubt whether the majority of those people that voted on Obamacare ever even opened up that thing and read it. You ever see a politician read anything? Once I went to an assembly, it was a city assembly, and they were voting on a law. And the guys, one of the aldermen, was a friend of mine. And he saw me there, and he came out and started to talk to me. And the other guy there in the assembly said, "Well, how do you vote on this law that we're proposing?" I said, just put me in as you think." He didn't know what the heck he was voting on, and and he just threw his decision in there like, now what kind of responsibility is that? So how can these guys vote on Obamacare if they don't even know what's it all about? They never read the thing. I read it. And there's things in there that'll shock you. This thing's a Trojan horse full of assassins. Okay? When the devil does something bad, he never does 100% bad. He always mixes it with a little evil. With a little good, so that it can be more palatable, more acceptable and all that. But he'll give you the food, nice sweet food with poison in it to kill you. You see, and that's what Obamacare is. So, what's in there that's evil, and what's in there that's good? See, people think that Obamacare is like, that's to help the poor and the poor people they have no insurance and all that. Sure, that's okay. But why put poison in it? Why can't you just keep it like that and not put other things in there? Because there's a whole socialist scheme behind this whole thing, that people don't know about. So people are gullible. And like that, the people of Troy that opened up their doors to the Trojan horse, and then they got killed, and that's what's going to happen with the same thing with the Obamacare. Because what's in it? First of all, that's bad. There's a whole thing about funding abortion. They're going to keep funding abortion, keep giving money to Planned Parenthood and all these abortions and all that. That's your taxpayer money. That's against your conscience. Okay? The second thing is, they're going to put money aside as, some guy wants to be a girl wants to be a boy and all that, and they need money for the surgery for that. That's going to be funded. That's going to be paid for. All right? Anything, all this kind of stuff, contraceptives, all that stuff that's immoral. That's going to be financed by this thing. Then there's a part that's very, very shocking, very fearful. A lot of doctors in the country are going to give a lot of power over others. They feel the person, is really not is not fit for society and all that. Well, they make the decision now. It's going to be their decision whether they're going to kill an older person or people that they feel unfit. It's going to be like Hitler all over again in this country. Another thing is, let's say you have problem kids. Kids can't study at school, they don't get along with their parents. Well, the doctors have a right to take these kids, psychologists, psychiatrists and all that, put them in institutions. They're going to be in complete control of their hands, all right, and not their parents anymore. And they can do anything they want with them. If they can reform it, and they're going to fill them up with pills and shots and all that, they see they can't go forward, they just let them die. They'll have power of life over them and death. There's a lot of horrendous, shocking things in this Obamacare. All right? So, just because you're selfish and you say, well, I got to think about my health insurance and my thing, whatever, and I don't care whatever happens to anybody else. No, you can't do it like that. Even if sometimes you have to sacrifice your good for the good of others, that's the principle you have to follow. All right? But don't say, I'm thinking about myself and the heck with the rest, the hell with the other people. Because in the end, if you have that kind of attitude, you're going to it yourself, So don't fall into this thing now, please.